Hello, I'm David Cross. I'm an artist and a reader in art and design at University of the Arts, London. Investing in a risky future could consider the gamble of investing when the future brings increasing risks. But it could also consider the ethics of investing in a financial system which yields wealth for some, but loss and damage for many others. Social and ecological systems are complex and non-linear, so their effects are unpredictable and not proportional to causes. Feedback loops can drive systems past tipping points to sudden and radical change. And because social and ecological systems interact, risks are linked and can spill over from one domain to another. Scientists have identified interlinked tipping elements in the Earth's system, and these include slowing of the ocean currents, dieback of the Amazon rainforest, and collapse of the polar ice sheets. A chain reaction between these processes could be triggered if global warming exceeds 2 degrees. The United Nations warns that business as usual will result in 2.8 degrees of global warming. What might the risks of 2.8 degrees look like? The World Economic Forum has developed future scenarios, and in each one, climate change multiplies other risks, especially through water stress. For example, many sectors depend on microchips, which use vast quantities of water to produce. The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, which controls 90% of the world market for advanced chips, uses 150,000 tons of water every day. So water stress can disrupt the global supply of microchips. In 2021, Taiwan was hit by drought. As reservoirs emptied, the government protected supplies of food and drinking water by cutting water for chip production. This disrupted global supplies of smartphones, computers and medical scanners, heat pumps, electric vehicles and power infrastructure equipment. Last year, in Italy, olive, tomato and risotto rice crops were badly hit by drought. That time, supermarkets were able to import substitutes from other countries through global supply chains. But climate breakdown disrupts global supply chains. This year, drought has already restricted shipping through the Panama Canal. In the global south, though, water stress from climate breakdown brings more urgent risks to human health and well-being. It also brings more complex, longer-term risks, such as from how water stress deepens gender inequality as women and girls have to carry water further, reducing their time for education. In Pakistan last year, flooding caused loss and damage valued at $30 billion. But it's not just about money. Millions of people are still risking their health in temporary shelters near contaminated and stagnant floodwater. History matters. Climate loss and damage today is the result of carbon dioxide emitted in the past. Because carbon dioxide accumulates in the atmosphere, climate justice requires wealthy societies to own their historical emissions. After the Second World War, the Bretton Woods Agreement replaced the injustices of colonialism with those of globalization. Since then, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund have drained the economies of the Global South, greatly increasing their exposure to climate risk. At COP27, Mia Mottley called for the World Bank and the IMF to be restructured, held accountable for the climate crisis, and made to finance climate action and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Those goals are often visualized as a set of equal options. But the Stockholm Resilience Centre rearranged them to envision a world where the economy serves society which develops within the safe limits of the biosphere. When students invest in higher education, they might trust that it will help them prepare for a risky future as professionals and as citizens. So how can universities repay that trust? By investing both their social and their financial capital to align business operations with academic activities. A good start would be to completely divest from fossil fuels and switch to a more ethical and accountable bank. Next, replace expansion based on jet travel with post-carbon internationalism, partnering with institutions in the majority world to live and learn within a just share of the global carbon budget. Research and knowledge exchange partnerships could link science and technology to the humanities, so that historical inquiry and intercultural dialogue could frame the just sharing of global risk. And finally, art and design can work transversally, approaching complexity and uncertainty from different points of view to envision more adaptable, tolerant and creative futures.